publishing is not governed by music industry standards, because copyright is governed by constitutional law. So songs are intellectual property that are governed by what the constitution of various countries say about how intellectual property should be protected. The reason why I point that out is because intellectual property being separate and legislated from music products is not subject to the vicissitudes of the music industry economy. It sits outside of the music industry economy, although the music industry economy has implications for it. So one example of that is this. When you have a song, the fact that it's on an album of some kind, whatever the format is the least of where it'll make its earnings. So what that says to me is, if I'm trying to deepen my anchor, oh, this is a good metaphor, deepen my anchor on stormy seas, what is the thing that's most stable?
Nice.
Music industry is a stormy sea. What is the thing that's most stable? Publishing, because it has the least to do with the changes in the music industry, because it's rooted in constitutional law. Ooh. And so my question for God right now is, what does it look like to serve in a big way in that area? And I'm feeling a greater call to writers who work in the Black music space. Now, I am not defining the Black music space as music by Black people, because some of these writers are not Black, but it is music where the end result, the core consumer base, sees that as legitimate portions of the canon of the African American experience, right? And some of that's jazz, some of it's R&B, some of it's gospel, some of it's spiritual, some of it's blues. Our whole legacy of music. There are very specific creative cultures that write very well there, that are overlooked by and underserved by the current publishing companies, particularly in the gospel and Christian space. And some of that has to do with the fact that we aren't comfortable talking about race. Mm-hmm. And I think that we can talk about culture without talking about race. And I'm feeling a call to serve people who specialize in the culture of Black music and creating there from a songwriting standpoint. So that's something that's as far as I've gotten today. I mean, check me in 6 months. But what I'm hoping is that with some of the things that are percolating in my spirit, that they will lead to new business models, that then everybody will think that was their idea. And so if that happens, that's great, because I will have blessed people in the process. But that space, this is the last thing I'll say about that. Because law and talk of the law is intimidating, we would prefer not to actually have to read about it and learn it, and just to attach ourselves to people that we trust who'll do it for us. And we end up the weaker for it. And in this case, I'm saying all creatives, but especially Black creatives, because part of the lie of slavery is that you are not educatable, right? And so when that's the case, then you come to any kind of new learning with a self-esteem problem that impairs the process of learning. The great thing is, any knowledge that exists in the earth exists by the way of the Holy Spirit. And if you have Him and are connected to Him, He can illuminate what society has darkened for you.
That's good.
And so read that, guys. Learn about publishing.
Yeah.
I just really feel like it's a way to move from music creation to wealth instead of music creation to riches. And if you don't know the difference about that, go pray about that. I can't teach you about it.
Fact.